Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Metal Roundup. This is Whupp, and today is January 18th, Saturday, and I'm feeling a little under the weather, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to power through the news. So this first article we got here, Corey Taylor, the vocalist of Slipknot, was interviewed by the Irish Times. Really cool interview. They were asked about his band, but what I really want to draw from is where he was asked about how the metal scene has changed and how the music is always evolving. They were talking about how there's a lot of access to music nowadays, and that with all this access, it's hard for new bands to get noticed because there's a lot of music out there nowadays. And then he was asked about streaming and how it has affected bands. And he was talking about how some of these bands had to retire because they don't make enough from their royalties, as well as mid-card and lower bands have a hard time paying their bills, and it's almost better for them to play local gigs. And he was asked about the rate he is pulled that he gets from streaming music. He was talking about how YouTube pays them a 0.04 per penny per stream, and so about 1 million listens, they'll make about $400. And he was just kind of making a swag out of his head. And I really wanted to bring this up because I was curious about how you, the listeners, like to consume your music. Do you prefer having CDs or vinyls, because vinyls are a new popular thing? Or do you prefer having the songs downloaded on your devices, your phone or PC? Or do you rely on streaming services for your music? Let me know in the comments below. And if you were a musician yourself, how do you prefer releasing your music? Because Metallica at one point had sued Napster due to the people-to-people service, how people were sharing their music and downloading it without Metallica or other bands making money from the exchange. So as a musician, how do you prefer releasing your music? I believe Dave Grohl had mentioned something along the lines of having your music out there for free because he would just be excited just to hear other people listening to it. Or would you rather try to sell your music in hopes that you can make money initially? Because Corey Taylor here was talking about if they were making the money like they would if their music was playing on the radio, bands would be a lot better off. And that they're hoping that this bill that was passed in 2018 would be revoked because it's really hard for bands to make money from their music being streamed off of these services. He also mentioned something about leaving social media because when he finds news articles, he likes to form his own opinion. While finding it on the internet, he usually gets bombarded with memes and other people's opinions. So at least without social media, he's able to read the news and form his own opinions on what the events are going on, even though he might not be fully up to date, like the unlimited access that the internet has. Second story, Iron Reagan has parted ways with their bassist, Rob Skotis, who over apparent sexual misconduct allegations. Earlier this week, the band issued a statement saying that Robert was no longer active member of Iron Reagan. They apologized for their delays, and they were hoping that they haven't had any damage done to the band, and that they encouraged Rob to make a public statement to clarify the situation. The allegations came from a Twitter account, Shit Bosses of Richmond, where they tend to find bad bosses in the Richmond, Virginia area. And when Cobra Cabana, who Rob Skotis is a co-owner of, were making a new pizza joint, they decided to come out and accuse him of being a rapist and a serial harasser. There's not a lot of information here other than the story that was posted in these tweets, something along the lines of Rob assaulting someone on a Philly tour, and the band intimidating her back into silence. There was no dates or anything, so when I was looking into the matter, I didn't find anything online about it, as well as this Twitter being just an anonymous page that allows people to expose their bosses and rich men, and that they would keep their stories anonymous. So a very unliable source, per se, which Skotis, releasing the following statement, asked people to consider consider its source. And that he also denies all allegations. So it's a really unfortunate. And when I was looking into the matter, it's this is literally all the information I was able to find. The looking into Rob Skotis's post, a few people said that he was full of shit, and with that being said, and these allegations being out there, it makes sense for the bar having to sever ties, which Rob was also a resident above the bar as well. And so with these rumors being out there, the Cobra Cabana wouldn't necessarily be a safe haven, and so people with a diminished reputation, it only makes sense that these bands would have to sever ties with Rob. Same with the Iron Reagan band as well. So I hope for the best for Skotis, and I hope that these allegations are false. And if they were to be true, Twitter is not a place to be taking these allegations. In fact, you should take it up with your local authorities, because with a mob mentality, you are guilty until proven innocent. Here in the What's Up, we got a couple new things here. We got Burning Witches with the new song Sea of Lies, which they released January 10th in a hype for their new album coming up in February. Brothers of Metal has released a new album, Endless Saga, and they have a music video and hype for that one. Haunt has a new album that came out January 10th, Mind Freeze, a heavy metal band from Fresno. Sabaton released a new song featuring Apocalyptica, Angels Calling. As well, Sons of Apollo have a new album out called 2020 in Roman numerals, a progressive metal band. And we got Sleeping with Sirens announcing a spring tour in 2020, co-headed with the Amity Affliction. So keep an eye out for these bands' tours and catch them coming up. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. And if you enjoy the show, please leave a comment as well as leaving a like on the video, for it helps me a lot. And subscribe as well, because I'll be uploading every Friday. Today is a little different because of the situation, but every Friday I'll be uploading, and ring that bell so you get notified when the next video is active. If you want to catch me streaming, you'll find me on twitch.tv/Whupp, where I'll be playing video games and listening to metal, and I'm more than welcome to talk about any of the articles on this episode or upcoming. Also, check out the S1ckboy Lounge podcast you can find here on YouTube, as well on Twitch and Mixer. You can follow us on Twitter as well, in the links provided below. So thanks again, and have an awesome weekend.